Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Welcome to Rogers Center. It is a cool day outside, 7 degrees, but it's very comfortable with the roof closed here at Rogers Center. The Oakland A's snapped a 6-game losing streak here in this ballpark with last night's 8-5 win. Bob Melvin, the skipper of the Oakland A's. Let's take a look at his lineup, man. Quite a few changes in the lineup this afternoon. Jed Lowry, he's moved up into the third spot. He's at second base. He's hit well on the road this season, a .345 average. And the A's have won 7 straight road games, so Lowry's had something to do with that. Down in the 7th spot, Marcus Semien. Look at those numbers against Jay Happ. He's 7 for 10 with a home run and 4 RBIs. Jay Happ's going to have to try a different approach against Marcus Semien this afternoon.
Maybe he should be hitting up a little bit higher in that lineup for Bob Melvin. Jay Happ, this is a milestone start for him. He's making his 200th career appearance in the big leagues this afternoon. He's 2-0 with a 189 earned run average. Since last August, he's been outstanding. Only Jake Arrieta has outpitched him with an ERA of 150. He was great last year, set career highs in starts, innings pitched, and strikeouts last year, and he's kept it going here in 2016.
Jay Happ is a perfect 3-0 against Oakland for his career, and Blue Jays need a good start today. They used 4 2/3 innings of bullpen relief last night. They need Jay Happ to pitch deep into this game and win. Billy Burns went 1 for 4 last night. He scored a run. Leadoff man swings and always makes contact. He is anxious to put the ball in play. Pitch up and away.
He swings early in the count too. He's not your typical leadoff hitter in the sense that he's going to take pitches and work counts. He's going to go up there hacking.
It's fouled into the seats, out of play. Burns was originally drafted by the Washington Nationals in 2011. He was a 32nd round pick. He came to Oakland in a trade and sent the left-hander Jerry Blevins to Washington. 6-game hit streak. He singled last night. Strike 2.
Ball looked like it might have surprised Burns just a little bit. Jay Happ has that ability to get that fastball on you quickly.
Gone and missed. Jay Happ with that high fastball rides it by Billy Burns. 1 down. Let's take a look at the defense. Blue Jays committed an error in last night's game. It was Ezequiel Carrera who was charged with an error in the 9th inning. Kevin Pillar and Jose Bautista round out the outfield. Troy Tulowitzki back at shortstop, teaming up with Ryan Goins. Justin Spoke, the first baseman, and Russell Martin. He left the game early in last night's game. He's back behind the plate for Jay Happ.
And it's so good to see Troy Tulowitzki back out at shortstop. John Gibbons was saying before the game he was going to give him last night off or this afternoon off before this series started, and it just so happened that his hip was banged up just a little bit after a couple of dives in Baltimore. He gave him last night off, and it's good to see him back in there at his familiar position at shortstop.
This is Mark Canham, who had a great rookie season a year ago. He led the American League rookies with 70 RBIs for the season at 254. Already off to a good start with a pair of home runs.
One of those coming the other night, an opposite field home run in New York.
Drives this ball to the opposite field end deep. Bautista on the move, and this ball is gone. Another home run for Mark Canham. Opposite field again, his 3rd of the season.
He took Luis Severino opposite field in Yankee Stadium. Now that's a little bit different than this ballpark here. Very short porch in right field in New York. You have to have some kind of power to hit it out here the other way. Mark Canham catches a fastball just right. Jay Happ with that fastball up and away, catches it just right, and he shows off his power the other way.
First home run for Canham here at Rogers Center, and he put a charge in it. That pitch up out over the plate.
Well, Buck, I think if there's one thing that we learned about the Oakland A's yesterday, that they can hit a fastball. They hit Aaron Sanchez fastball around the ballpark to the tune of 10 hits and 6 earned runs, and they're doing it again this afternoon.
We mentioned the A's are a perfect 7-0 on the road, and they also have a 6-game winning streak. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
They look loose to me, very loose, just playing the game.
This is Jed Lowry, the second baseman. He moves up to the third spot, and he singles. The A's had a good start to their game last night against Aaron Sanchez, and they've got a home run and a single against Jay Happ here in the first.
Picked up a run in that first inning yesterday, and then 3 more in the second. 31 runs in their past 6 games, the A's, so they're playing with a lot of confidence, like you said.
Scored just 11 runs in their, 29 runs in their first 11 games. And as Pat mentioned, they've been scoring over 5 a game lately. Billy Butler, he is at first base for the first time this season. Butler in his second year with the Oakland A's, signed as a free agent. Oh, and 2. Bounce, nice block by Russell Martin as he kept that ball right in front of him. Great ball in the dirt, way out in front of home.
Way out in front. Russell, we mentioned that he'd been having some problems, some neck spasm. He was taken out of the ball game last night. I saw him around the batting cage today, and it's still affecting him a little bit, but wanted to catch today. Said the back feels like he's got a lot of knots in his back, and it's working its way up into his neck, but he's okay. That was a pretty good play.
Now back over the screen, out of play.
What's it like when you've got a neck problem like that and you got to hold up the helmet and the face mask? Puts a little extra stress on your neck, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. And anybody knows when you get a kink in your neck, it's very difficult to move around. And obviously, you know, you have to move around to play baseball. But he had to come out of the game last night after his double in the 5th. Trying to come inside. He missed up and away with that cutter.
You see Jay very quickly look at his hands, like that ball slipped out of his hands. He's going to rub up that baseball. He has shown the ability to get that ball down. I was talking to him in Baltimore, and he was saying that I can get my hand on top of the ball a little bit better and drive it down into the strike zone.
2-2, another foul into the seats. One thing that has always plagued Jay Happ was foul balls, and he's kind of addressed that issue. He has a pretty good idea how to overcome that and economize on his pitches.
Well, he says he's throwing more two-seamers, and what that does is, he says, I'm not getting as many foul balls like I used to, and that'll help my pitch count. It'll keep it lower.
So fly ball deep to right. Bautista this time has room there, makes the catch. 2 down.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report for this afternoon starter for the Blue Jays, Jay Happ, and what he features. He'll feature that fastball in the low 90s about 63% of the time. He can cut it and he can sink it if he needs to now. A slider that he says it's a hybrid between a slider and a curveball that he will use also, and there's the changeup about 7% of the time. But to finish up on that point about the two-seamer, by using that instead of fouling the balls off, they're keeping that ball in play and getting ground ball outs, reducing the pitch count and keeping him around the game a lot longer.
This is Chris Davis. He has moved up in the lineup against the lefty Jay Happ. Davis had a big hit in last night's game. Initially scored as a double. It was later changed to a single and an error. Happ pounds that fastball inside. 0-2. Davis was acquired late in the offseason in February. He was acquired in a trade for a couple of minor leaguers from the Brewers. Oh, 2. So far, he hasn't been able to minimize on the foul balls. Davis hit 27 home runs last year for Milwaukee. Drove in 66, and he's hit well against the Blue Jays. He had a couple of those hits in last night's game.
Off to a little bit of a rocky start this year. A lot of strikeouts for Chris Davis so far early.
It's going around.
It's not just him or the Oakland A's. Every team seems to be striking out a lot. Chris has struck out 21 times this year. That leads the team.
55 at bats, 21 strikeouts coming into this game for Chris Davis. Off speed pitch. Donaldson dives from the foul territory, makes a strong throw. Josh Donaldson continues to flash the leather at third. He saves extra bases for Jay Happ. A terrific play takes him into foul ground. He uses that strong arm to end the inning. Donaldson started out as a catcher. He's made a terrific transition to third. Have to play catch up once again. They fell behind 1-0 in last night's game. Let's take a look at the lineup for John Gibbons' Blue Jays. Ezequiel Carrera is in left field again for Michael Saunders and Josh Donaldson. He has really liked hitting here at Rogers Center, going back to his great season a year ago, and he's continued that this season. .357 so far at home for Donaldson. All the way down in the ninth spot, Kevin Pillar trying to get things going. He had 2 hits last night against the A's to continue his great start against Oakland for his career.
Chris Bassitt gets ready for his 4th start of the season. No record in 3 starts, but look at the earned run average, 279 and no decision. That's because he just doesn't have many runs to work with. He has received 2 runs of support or fewer in each of those 3 starts. And that's nothing new. Last season, he received 1 run of support or fewer in 9 of his 13 starts.
Ezequiel Carrera will throw the first pitch. It's in there for his strike. Carrera 1 for 5 in the game last night. He's filling in for Michael Saunders, who's still dealing with a sore hamstring. Bassitt, there's Saunders on the bench, and Darwin Barney had a big night at the plate last night. Barney with the home run off Sonny Gray. Ball and a strike from Chris Bassitt. Foul back. You see Bassitt using that abbreviated delivery. He went to Nashville, worked out with Sonny Gray, and Pat, they have all incorporated that Davis Price windup.
It's a windup where you don't get a lot of movement. It helps you to stay over the rubber just a little bit longer and keep you balanced. It's almost like an exaggerated stretch position throughout the whole game.
Just in an effort to get him more consistently in the strike zone, Sonny Gray has put it to good use. Rich Hill on Gray's right. Boy, what a story he has been, bouncing back after dealing with injuries over the last few years. Bassett wanted that one. Full count to the leadoff man. Josh Donaldson will be next.
Ask him where that curveball is. One was down and one looked like it might have been inside.
Right back up the middle. The leadoff base hit for Carrera. Take a look at the defense behind Chris Bassett. In the outfield, Coco Crisp is in left this afternoon. Billy Burns and Mark Hanna center and right, respectively. Chris Coughlin continues to play third base in the absence of Danny Valencia. Simeon and Lowry up the middle. Billy Butler making his first start of the season at first, and Josh Fakeley. For Chris Bassett, two former White Sox hooking up.
And Marcus Simeon at shortstop might be the most improved player in all of baseball. 35 errors last year, but he has worked very hard with Ron Washington every single day. He only has one error in 17 games this year, and he looks a little bit more comfortable at shortstop, fielding and throwing.
Well, the A's have committed 15 errors, and Ron Washington, the third base coach, also in charge of the infielders. You can see he's got his spray charts in his hand, trying to set up the infield accordingly. 0-1 to Donaldson. Another base hit, almost a carbon copy of the first one. Right back up the middle. Maybe the Blue Jays have changed their focus a bit, saying, you know what, we just need to get some base hits.
Get some base hits, and there's a lot of hits right back through the middle. The first one, Carrera took a couple of breaking balls and fought back to a full count and got the fastball. That time a spinner right there. That's a slider that just spun over the middle of the strike zone. In this scouting report, when you take a look at Chris Bassett, that slider is just an average slider. It's not a strikeout type of pitch. It's just something else that he can throw up there. That time he's lucky it stayed in the park.
Jose Bautista 0 for 3 with a sac fly in last night's game. He failed to reach base for the first time in 17 games. He had a 16-game streak to start the season. There's that slow breaking ball, and it's a slow one.
Yeah, and it's a good one too. He throws it like a changeup, and he just floats up there. Pretty good pitch right there. Everybody's been talking about the Blue Jays and why they're not hitting, so I went back and looked at some of the numbers for Bautista, and his April is the same April that he had last year, except for 1 point. He's hitting almost 100 points higher than he did in April last year.
Fights that one off. Inside pitch, checking the status of his bat.
With the plate appearances, the at-bats, the on-base percentage is a little bit higher this year. He hit more home runs in April last year than he has. He's hit 3 so far this year. But Jose's actually hitting for a higher batting average than he did last April.
You saw what he's hitting with runners in scoring position. Over 430. 0-2. Well, one thing we have seen consistently from the opposing pitchers is they are pitching the Blue Jays inside, pitching them tough with fastballs, really trying to crowd them, move them off the plate.
Yeah, you watch, if you watch this team day after day, especially the right-handed power hitters, they're going to back you off that plate and use the fastball inside and then go breaking ball away.
That one gets away from Fageley. He's not sure where it is. Carrera, big turnaround third. He'll stop. The curveball got away from Josh Fageley, and the runners advance.
Going for the strikeout. He overthrew that one. Bounced it in front of home plate. Blue Jays could move up, take advantage of the mistakes by the opposition. That time he cannot catch it and has no idea where it is. Two balls and two strikes.
Ground ball, that'll score a run. Donaldson goes back to second. Carrera comes in to score. And Bautista has tied it up. Good at bat, put the ball in play, chase home Carrera, and Jose has driven in his 13th run of the season.
Small plays within the game that you forget about as the game goes along, but that wild pitch right there might have just saved the Blue Jays by scoring a run. If there isn't a wild pitch, that's a ground ball double play, and there's 2 outs and a runner at third. But Bautista stays in the middle of the diamond one more time. That's 3 in a row to pick up that RBI.
Edwin Encarnacion 0 for 3 last night. He scored a run. Donaldson still at second. Blue Jays had a little meeting about the way they were playing, and they were talking about tightening things up overall. Base running hasn't been great. The outfield defense has been terrific. But this approach right here, just reminding everybody, hey, there are a lot of base hits out there.
Yeah, so far so good, staying in the middle of the diamond and using the whole field. Also, they take a lot of pride in their defense, and the defense hasn't been very sharp, if you will, over the last week or so. So they got together, talked about it just a little bit, and said, hey, let's step it up just a little bit.
Blue Jays have had 6 pass balls already. Tied him up inside. Another fastball inside to the Blue Jays power hitters.
They'll use that, the opposition, to set up other pitches. They'll go in there. I think that's why the Blue Jays have been hit the most times in the American League, because they have been really pitching them inside, really jamming them up with that fastball. Just don't want those big home run hitters to extend through the baseball. So they've been pitching them inside a little bit more than last year.
Another pitch inside, and Encarnacion strikes out. Bassett gets him with that fastball.
He's got a good 2-seamer, does Chris Bassett, and it's a power sinker. Anywhere between 90 and 97. He gets on top of that one, and look at the downward movement that he creates with a flick of the wrist.
2 outs for Troy Tulowitzki. Did not play in the game last night, as Pat mentioned. Got the night off, dealing with a little bit of a hip issue. Nothing serious. This Blue Jays ball club always exchanging information about a pitcher they're facing.
And Jose is going to give a little information to Bassett. You can see he's saying he's coming to the stretch position, and they're always talking, always communicating.
There are only 3 batters in the Blue Jays batting order that have faced Bassett in the past: Carrera, Donaldson, and Tulowitzki. See Darwin Barney there. He really adds a lot to this club, even when he's not playing. He's a good guy to bounce things off of. He's got a great ability to observe things in the course of a ball game, and he was listening in on Bautista's assessment of Bassett.
It's called experience, right? When you're not playing, you better sit over there and pay attention and pick something up. The good ones, they've always got their eyes on the field.
There's always something you can do to help your team, even if you're not playing. Might pick something up that nobody else sees. A ball and 2 strikes to Troy Tulowitzki. 1-1 ball game. Breaking ball hit in the hole. Simeon knocks it down. He'll have no play. Troy Tulowitzki, welcome back to the lineup. He singles in his first at bat.
Simeon has a strong arm at shortstop. That would have been interesting if he caught this ball cleanly. If he had a shot at first base on one hop, it looked like he might have overran it just a little bit and it hit on the heel, more on the heel than in the webbing of the glove. And Tulo's got a hit his first time up.
So Donaldson's at third, Tulowitzki at first for Justin Smoke. Smoke 1 for 3 at a single in a Jays 8th inning last night. Smoke's going to get most of the reps over at first base now. Chance to get some continuity at the plate.
Get some rhythm. Get a few at bats back to back. Talking to him in Boston, he said it's so hard to play when you play and then you sit for a couple of days. He said it felt like spring training all over again.
Well, we've just been informed that Tulowitzki's infield hit was called an error, and I don't agree with that at all.
He's at home. The home scorer should take care of the home players.
2-0. Well, you don't have to take care of them. That's just a base hit.
If it's 50-50, if you're trying to figure out, but that would have been an exceptional play if he went into the hole, caught it. That's why I said it would have been interesting if he did. I still think he would have beat it out.
Yeah, Tulowitzki, that is something I'm sure that we will hear changed later. 3-0 to Smoke. Ball 4, that'll load the bases. Well, the Blue Jays, they just couldn't come up with a big hit with the bases loaded last night. They had the bases loaded twice in the 6th inning, managed just 1 run.
And this might be the right guy at the right spot right here. He was out of the game, Russell Martin, last night when that position came back around with the bases loaded. The Blue Jays couldn't cash in. It looks like he's starting to swing the bat with a little bit more authority.
Russell got his first double of the season last night in his at bat in the 5th inning, and then he had to come out of the game. He has 4 career grand slams. He would be very happy to have a 2-run single right here. It's a 1-1 ball game. Bouncing ball left side. Conklin has it. Now he drops it. Donaldson comes in to score. The Blue Jays have taken the lead. Well, third base has been a real problem for Oakland. That's the 5th error committed by the third baseman this year.
5 by the second baseman and 5 by the third baseman now. This is a team, the Oakland A's last year had at least 2 errors in 29 games last season. That's the 3rd highest total in major leagues. Pirates had 36 and the Brewers had 30. Oakland had 29 last year. This time Coghlan gets there, comes up with it, and then drops it.
Simeon bobbled his ball. He was charged with an error. Coghlan not charged with an error on that ball. You got to get things straightened out down there. So Martin is given credit for an infield hit. With that, he'll get an RBI. Ryan Goins. Bases remain loaded. Tulowitzki's at third, Smoke at second, and Russell Martin's at first. Jose Bautista drove in the tying run. 2-1.
Last time out, Chris Bassett had a career high 114 pitches, but that got him through 7 innings last time.
There's a strike. He's got 7 innings in his last 2 starts. Went 5 1/3 against his former team, the White Sox, on April 5th. And he has yet to record a decision. This is his 4th start of the season. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Goins. Blocked, and Begley gets on it quickly to keep Tulowitzki at third.
I think what the Blue Jays can notice in this first inning against Bassett, he hasn't been able to throw that breaking ball for a strike. So just eliminate it. And now 3-2. You might want to sit on that fastball right here.
Runners will be moving on the pitch. Lowry, and he throws Goins out. Another hot shot. This time they turn it into an out, but the Blue Jays score 2 runs on 3 hits to take the lead.
The lineup for the second game in a row due to hamstring soreness. While Saunders tells me he's feeling much better today, head trainer George Poulos said he is still feeling a little bit of tightness in the area. Poulos and the training staff are throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him, from massage therapy to electrical stimulation to different kinds of manual techniques. They're hopeful he could be back in the next day or so. There is news on lefty reliever Aaron Loup, who continues to work his way back from a strained forearm. He's in Florida, long tossing on flat ground now from about 120 feet away, Buck. He's getting very close to throwing off the mound.
Well, that's still going to take a while for him to get back. You got to consider that pitchers take about 6 weeks to get ready once they start pitching again. But it's good news on Saunders that hopefully he'll be back in a day or so.
Gibby was saying before the game, he's on base so much. He's been circling the bases. He really likes that leadoff position. But it's nothing really major at this time. Said it just flared up on him a little bit in Baltimore, and he'd been dealing with it for a couple of series now.
So Jay Happ has a 2-1 lead. Coco Crisp leads things off. Crisp is in left field this afternoon. The scorer has indeed changed the ruling on Tulowitzki's ball. Initially ruled an error on the shortstop. It is now an infield base hit. So the Blue Jays have 2 runs on 4 hits. Well, Tulowitzki gets credit for the base hit, and he should have. This is a little tapper. Jay Happ has to flip quickly to Smoke. Good communication between the pitcher and the first baseman.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Jay Happ gets off the mound very quickly. There has to be communication between the first baseman and the pitcher on plays like this. The pitcher will call him off so Smoke can get back to the bag. You practice that day after day at spring training, then it happens in the regular season, and sometimes you forget what you practiced.
Yeah, pitchers, they really don't care for pitchers fielding practice, but it's something you have to do, and it served them well right there.
Communication, I think, is the factor, the important factor in that. And there was some communication there with Happ finishing off that play.
This is Marcus Semien. Semien, Fagley the catcher, and the starting pitcher Chris Bassett all came from the Chicago White Sox in a deal for Jeff Samardzija. Another tapper back to the mound. 2 quick outs for Happ here in the second.
Well, Jay Happ is a different pitcher than the one we saw here a few seasons ago. Last 13 major league starts, 9-1 with that 150 earned run average. Like I said in the opening, only Jake Arrieta over that time has outpitched him. And the reason that he is a better pitcher, he's got command of his body, he's got command of his fastball, he can sink the ball, he can cut it, he keeps it down, he's just got better control of his stuff.
Well, and he's confident. You can see it how quickly he takes the rubber, looks for the sign, and really trusts his pitches now. There's a high fly ball to left. Carrera moving under it. Good inning for Jay Happ. Took him just 8 pitches to retire the side in order in the second.
For Canada's team, there are only 7 days left to sign the Blue Jays fan board and have your cheer included in the Players Tunnel at Rogers Center. Visit RogersCelebrates.com for details. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Pat, you signed that wall yet?
I did not. I forgot. I walked right by it today.
Let's go. You're running out of time. You got to sign the wall. Go Blue Jays.
I don't think
all kinds of people have sent their signatures in.
I don't think I can be as creative as some of those people are. You see some of those
I saw the bat flip on there.
Yeah.
Number 9 hitter Kevin Pillar. Pillar had a 2-run single in the 8th last night. A couple of hits. Had a base hit to right field as well. Bounced one to left.
You know, it's only a matter of time, I think, with some of these players. DB was saying, I'm just going to throw them out there, just keep running them out there, and eventually they're going to find their stroke and they're going to find their timing.
Ground ball off the glove of Simeon. Another hit for Pillar. Makes a big turn around first. Kevin Pillar starting to come alive.
Yeah, he had those 6 hits in Boston, had a rough series in Baltimore, and had a multi-hit game yesterday, and starts off this afternoon's game looking very comfortable at the plate. You keep running guys out there, and they're going to find it. They're going to get that timing, and they're going to feel comfortable at the plate. Pillar gets that slider, hits it into the hole in left field. And he had thoughts of maybe turning this into a double. And he made the shortstop, Simeon, stop him. He hustled after that ball.
The fielder, Ezequiel Carrera, had a single back up the middle. Fouls that one off the catcher's mitt. Carrera hit a 3-2 pitch right back up the middle to start the inning for the Blue Jays. He came in to score the first Jays run on a ground out by Bautista. There's a bunt up the first baseline, and it's going to bounce foul. Carrera's been utilizing that weapon quite a bit when he gets the chance to play.
Especially with a runner at first base, because the first baseman has to hold the runner on. The second baseman is shading over towards the bag in double play depth, and there's like a little dead spot out there on the infield that if you can get it by the pitcher with Carrera's speed, he can get himself an infield hit also. That time it had a lot of English on it, and it spun foul. Looked like a good bunt when it first left the bat.
No balls and 2 strikes. There's a drive to the alley, and that's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. to Rob Carrera of an RBI. Boy, he drilled that one. Looked like it was going to hit the wall, and Carrera is 2 for 2. He doubled in last night's game, and he has doubled here in his second bat this afternoon.
Wide bunt when you can hit like this. Sinker. It doesn't sink. It's out over the plate, and this ball's covered. That thing got out there very quickly. Pilar was going to score, but once it bounced out of play, he's got to go back to third base, and Carrera. 2 at-bats, 2 innings, 2 hits.
Carrera is now 6 for 8 against Chris Bassett. Josh Donaldson single in his first at-bat. Donaldson, he's 2 for 4 against Bassett. As we mentioned, only 3 Blue Jays in this lineup have faced Chris Bassett. This is his first appearance against the Blue Jays. There's that slow breaking ball that has been ineffective for Bassett.
Too inconsistent. He'll throw a good one like he did to Bautista, but then miss 3 or 4 times in a row. If you're the Jays, ignore it.
Donaldson with 15 ribbies so far. Golden opportunity to add to that total. Deep drive to center. Burns back. Looking up. This ball is gone.
Well, he must have been listening to you, partner. Time to add on to some of those RBIs with one swing of the bat. He's going to get 3 of them. 2-0 pitch from Bassett. And it's a fastball out over the plate. He doesn't try and do too much with it, just stays within himself and stays in the middle of the diamond. High fastball. That's a good swing plane right there. Down and through the baseball. Into center field. Just like that, it's 5-1.
Donaldson knew he got enough of it. Took a couple of slow steps out of the batter's box. Billy Burns runs out and through him. A 3-run, a home run for Josh Donaldson. 18 RBIs for Donaldson. He leads the American League. Trails only Bryce Harper of the Nationals for the Major League lead. Harper has 22. Now Donaldson with 18.
I like how he stayed in the middle of the field again. His single came right back through the middle, and that time didn't try and pull it. Stayed right through it.
Jose Bautista started everything with a ground ball RBI in the first. High fly ball. This one's going to stay in the ballpark. Burns backpedaling. Bautista's retired.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Rogers 4K TV. Get closer to the action with 4 times the resolution of HD alone.
Edwin Encarnacion struck out in the first. Bassett got him on an inside fastball. Encarnacion is the 14th Blue Jay to come to the plate already. Two and one now to Encarnacion, just 1 out. Josh Donaldson with his 7th home run has taken the lead in the American League. He breaks a tie with Machado, Moustakas, and Cano.
Oh, it feels good to put another exclamation point against your former team. Hit a home run against them.
It's his second home run against Oakland since coming to the Blue Jays. That had some sound, didn't it?
Oh, way up into that football press box down the left field line. That is a long way from home plate.
Three-two pitch. Ball hit to right. Canna moving back. This ball's carrying up against the wall, and Canna makes the catch. Got it off the end of the bat just a tad, and it stayed in the ballpark.
Well, for a guy who was playing the outfield for just the second start this year, Canna goes back. He goes up. Oh, looked like it came off the wall, didn't it?
Well, it took a funny bounce, didn't it? Now that you look at it, and the Blue Jays are having a look at it, and they might review this.
You know, initially from up here, it looked like it didn't go softly into the glove.
He's got his glove underneath it there, yeah. But it bounced up against his glove and the wall at the same time. That's why there was kind of a little hesitation. But he got his glove underneath it. And now he says, yep, he caught it.
Still a great play for
2
a guy
outs.
who's mostly been an infielder.
Troy Tulowitzki, an infield single, his first time up.
Got to stay with that ball in right field one more time. Watch the glove get up, and it bounced into his glove, but he had his fingers behind it.
There's a strike, 2 balls and a strike to Troy Tulowitzki. Fly ball is center. Burns now drifting back. Ball starting to carry. Takes him all the way to the warning track, but Tulowitzki's retired. Josh Donaldson played 4 years with the Oakland A's, hit 63 home runs. This home run, his 48th in his second year with the Blue Jays. Number 7 on the season.
Presented by Boston Pizza. Saturday, May 7th, the Blue Jays take on the LA Dodgers at 1:07 p.m. Special price kids tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Visit BlueJays.com for your tickets.
Junior J Saturday is always very popular with the youngsters. They get a chance to run the bases, as Hazel mentioned. Is Chris Coghlan. Boy, it's tough playing for the A's. You had a 3-run home run. They moved you to the 9th spot.
That's the second home run in 2 days for Chris Coghlan. He homered in New York the day before they got here, and then homered yesterday. First time in his big league career that he's had a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs over a 2-game span. What does he get for that?
Number 9. At least he's in the lineup. That's the old saying. I don't care where you hit me, just play me. Chris Coghlan's now 30 years old. He was a first-round draft pick by the Marlins, 2006. He grew up in the Dunedin area, played at Eastlake High School in Oldsmar.
He was Rookie of the Year, wasn't he?
He had one of those freak injuries, hurt his knee in a celebration after a Marlins win. Remember that? Jumping around, hurt his knee. Good player.
He is a good player. You can play him all over the place if you want to. He can swing the bat like he did last night.
Kevin Pillar coming in. He gets there and makes the catch. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. How about making your first major league start at Yankee Stadium matched up against Masahiro Tanaka? That's one for the old scrapbook.
Yeah, go get him. Just don't give up any fly balls to right field.
Billy Burns strokes it into center field. Boy, he is a very aggressive hitter. He loves to swing early in the at-bats.
Second highest first pitch swing percentage in baseball last year. Put that one in your memory banks.
One out single for Billy Burns. 5-1 Blue Jays. Mark Canham. An opposite field home run in the first. They made a nice catch to take extra bases away from Edwin Encarnacion in right.
You know, another thing that Jay Happ was telling me when we were in Baltimore is he used to go through all the scouting reports. And remember how slow he was on the mound? He was very deliberate. He said he was thinking about, okay, scouting reports, how do I want to face this guy? What do I want to throw? What's the situation? Now he was telling me that he trusts what he sees and what he has seen from swing planes and how the hitters are reacting at the plate. He is also showing a lot of trust in the catcher. So it's almost like the Mark Burley effect, if you will. Work quicker. Trust what you see. If a guy's on a fastball, throw him a breaking ball.
You know, that's a great observation, because pitchers, they have the best perspective when they look in at the catcher and see where the batter is and how he is striding toward the baseball. If you see him stepping toward the outside, the tendency is to pitch him inside.
So you don't have to stick with that game plan per se, step by step. You might have to adjust it in game, and that's one of the things that Jay said has helped him over the last year or so.
1-2. Curveball, bounce to Goins. Tulowitzki for one, back to second, just like that. A 4-6-3 double play. That ends the third. Jay Happ pitching with a 4-run lead, gets a nice double play from the middle infielders.
coming your way tonight. It's the Blues and the Blackhawks, Game 6, 7:30 Eastern on CBC, 4:30 Pacific. Also, Game 5 between the Predators and the Ducks. That one gets underway at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific over on Sportsnet.
Well, what a great shot of a couple of youngsters outside before coming into this ball game. And the Blue Jays' success last year has created an awful lot of new, young baseball fans. And it's a terrific thing. Coast to coast, people have really bought into the Blue Jays. Justin Smoke walked his first time up. One thing about Smokey, he has been getting his share of walks. And he's been getting on base despite the low batting average. Smoke has a .484 on base percentage. Gets under this one and pops it into shallow center. The shortstop Marcus Semien is there. One away.
It's time to convert your big outdoor tasks into short, effortless work. Make the great outdoors even greater with Honda Power Equipment.
Well, the weather is getting nicer, and it's about time to think about mowing your lawn. Right outside Rogers Center, everybody is starting to think about spring and summer.
And cookouts.
My pal Scott Carson's going to have a cookout tonight. I didn't get the invite, did you?
I didn't.
No.
Where was mine?
Gonna have a little grilled chicken, I guess. Sounds like a good meal to me.
I didn't even get one of those, hey, what are you doing after the game things. Thanks a lot.
Russell Martin had an infield single in the first. Blue Jays scored 2 runs on 4 hits in the first, 3 runs on 3 hits in the second. Chris Bassett was called up to the A's last year on April 23rd. This day a year ago. That was his first appearance, and he was on quite a shuttle back and forth between Oakland and Nashville. His first 5 appearances last year were all out of the bullpen. He was sent back to the minors on May 10th. There's a slow curveball. That's the first one he's thrown for a strike. Russell Martin's not sure about that.
You can hear Russell saying, wasn't that ball down? I had it down. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Chris Bassett. He let this one go. It's a slow curveball. Russell watches it all the way down, and he was pretty confident that that thing was going to be called a ball.
Boy, that's quite a bit low. You see where it crossed his knee. It looked like it was well below his knee.
Yeah, he's got an argument.
Ryan Goins hit a hot shot right to the second baseman his first time up. That was the final out of the first inning. Fly ball to left. Coco Crisp is there, and Bassett has a quick inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the 4th, and here comes the ultimate cleanup crew, brought to you by Home Hardware's exclusive line of the ultimate hard-hitting and tough-on-grime cleaning products.
official team shop for your Toronto Blue Jays. New 2016 authentic jersey with 40th season sleeve patch available now. Get yours today at jshop.ca.
It looks like a full house, and they've all been shopping at the Jays shop. There are all different kinds of designs of hats, jerseys, sweatshirts, hoodies, whatever you need. So log on to Jays shop online. Ground ball up the middle. Goins not going to get there. Jed Lowry has a leadoff single, his second hit in his many at-bats. This Oakland A's team, they are swinging it. They step to the plate ready to hit.
They were saying after the game yesterday that they feel very confident at the plate, and they don't want too many strikes to go by. That they're very aggressive. Pesky. Yeah, that's the way I describe them. They're very pesky hitters. Spray the ball around the ballpark.
Billy Butler, he gets all tied up with that inside cutter. Butler signed a free agent contract with Oakland after his long career with Kansas City. Last time he played first base every day was 2010. He was the everyday first baseman through 9 and 10. He tried to check his swing, and Jay Happ is pounding him inside.
Another good cutter. Billy's probably happy he's not wearing that Kansas City uniform anymore when he's playing the Blue Jays. Remember that series a couple of years ago when he was with Kansas City? It was a 4-game series, so he had 16 at bats. He must have hit 10 balls right on the nose and didn't have anything to show for it. Kept hitting it right at the infielders.
He had a 2-year streak, I think, where he was about 2 for 35. He couldn't buy a hit against the Blue Jays.
And it's not like he was getting jammed or he was striking out. I mean, he was hitting the ball hard, but right at him.
Butler's a career .290 hitter, but against the Blue Jays, it drops down to .237.
And there's not a lot of infield hits there. I mean, those are some line drives into the outfield.
Staying inside on Butler, and that has always been the way to pitch him. Billy Butler, playing in that spacious ballpark at Kauffman Stadium, never was one to have a lot of power, but he used the whole field. He loves the ball out over the plate.
He's got the same type of ballpark in Oakland. Lots of room, lots of space into the gaps for him to go and hit. Once you start throwing the ball outside, he can hit the ball with authority the other way.
There he goes. They went to the outside. He slapped it through the right side of the infield. They just changed up on him, and he took advantage of it.
He likes the ball out there. He had some funky swings when he cut that fastball inside, and Russell Martin switches that away, stays away. Jay goes with the 2-seamer, but that's right up his alley. Trying to get the ball on the ground, turns the ball over. Butler shoots it to right field.
Back-to-back base hits for the A's here in the 4th. Chris Davis was robbed of extra bases on a fine play by Josh Donaldson down at third. Hit a ball hard right over the bag at third. Donaldson dove, gloved it, and threw Davis out. So JD is playing Davis near the line. Ball bounced in the dirt. Boy, Jay Happ has been a model of consistency to start the season for the Blue Jays. He's gone 6 innings, and 7 innings in his 3 starts. In those starts, he's allowed 2 runs to the Rays in St. Petersburg. Gave up a single run to the Yankees here at Rogers Center and 1 run to the Red Sox. We mentioned the fact that he signed as a free agent, and all the Blue Jay fans were a little disappointed they didn't make a bid for David Price, but right now perhaps pitching much better than David Price.
They kept saying they signed the wrong left-hander. Well, so far through April, that's not true.
Davis reached for that pitch. And Jay cutting the ball on the outside corner can keep the right-handed hitters honest that way.
Yeah, he says he can go both sides of the plate now. And talking with Pete Walker, he says his stride is very important. At times he'll overstride and then the arm will drag just a little bit. As long as his stride is fine, the arm is fine. Pretty good pitch right there.
Working him over, in and out.
You've seen pitchers who overstride just a little bit and the arm just can't catch up and it drags and pitch goes up and away invariably. But Pete Walker will keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on his chests. A lot of times when Jay tries to hump up and overthrow the ball, the chest starts pushing backwards before he delivers it.
Ground ball. Tulowitzki flips to Goins for one, back to first. Another double play, second of the game, turned by the middle infielders. Jay Happ, he's off to a great start, but it all began last August.
There it is. Exactly what we were talking about. Only Jake Arrieta has outpitched him. Jake Arrieta has been in another world. First of all, the Jay Happ at 150 since August the 14th. He has outpitched some other pretty dandy left-handers in Clayton Kershaw and Jose Quintana.
Pretty impressive list of pitchers that are throwing the ball very well, and Jay Happ is right there with the big boys. 2 outs now. Jed Lowry is at third base. First pitch in there for a strike to Coco Crisp.
Got to save this run right here. 2 singles to lead off the inning, then a double play. You got to strand him out there. Leave him standing.
Ground ball through the left side, base hit for Crisp. Lowry comes in to score, and Coco Crisp picks up his 4th RBI of the season, a 2-out single.
And he was trying to leave him out there. He just left the pitch out over the plate.
You heard the A's bench acknowledging the good at bat by Billy Butler after fighting off those inside pitches. He got a base hit to the other side, and Lowry had a good bat as well, and they were able to cash in those 2 singles that started the inning. 6 hits now for Oakland. Well, Russell Martin looked like he was expecting a different pitch.
Either that or that ball exploded at home plate. He was able to catch it, keep that runner over at first base.
Two and 0. Marcus Semien, we mentioned at the top of the show, he came into this game 7 for 10 against Jay Happ. He tapped back to the mound out in the second, and he hits this ball in the air. Kevin Pillar drifting back to his left, well in front of the warning track. Pillar will make the Blue Jay fan happy as it gives him a souvenir. Jay Happ gives up a run, but the Blue Jays have a 5-2 lead.
Comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are guests of TV. Meanwhile, we want to let you know that today's Blue Jays game is available with live described video for our blind and low vision audience. AMI TV Rogers Channel 888 allows you to enjoy the ball game with this added accessible feature.
They move to the bottom of the fourth. Kevin Pillar. He bounced a single off the glove of Marcus Semien to start the second. Came around to score the third Blue Jays run. Starting to zero in with that slow hook. Just 70 miles an hour. Bassett is 6'5". Creates a very tough angle for hitters. Comes right back with that curveball.
You know what that curveball is? It's a below speed curveball, below hitting speed. Hitters have that timing, and you see a pitch here and a pitch there, and you start to get that hitting speed. Well, you throw it below that, it just messes up your timing.
Ground ball this time to the left of the shortstop. Semien is there. Pillar is retired.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report for young Chris Bassett. Fastball, he throws it 58% of the time, and it's anywhere between 90. He's also registered some 97s also, with some good sink and some good glove side action. A curveball, 72 miles an hour. That's that sweeping slow curveball, slider, and a changeup that he will mix in there. Fastball's got some sink to it, and when it's down, it moves just a little bit more.
Ezequiel Carrera has 2 for 2 this afternoon. For his career against Chris Bassett, he's 6 for 8.
You mentioned very quickly that, and we were out there in San Francisco or in Oakland when they traded for Jeff Smart. Remember when Smart got there? That's how you make a trade. If you're the Chicago White Sox, if you're going to give up a stud starting pitcher like they did, you go out there and you get some pieces.
Well, you got a catcher, a shortstop, and a starting pitcher. That's a pretty good haul.
Pretty good haul for the Oakland A's.
The White Sox were concerned that they weren't going to be able to keep Samardzija. In fact, he just pitched 1 season for Chicago, went 11-13, and now he's in San Francisco as a free agent. But the Oakland A's have Fegley, Semien, and Bassett.
That's how you do it.
Stay hot. Carrera with his 3rd hit. Bassett can't figure him out.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SUHD TV.
Ezequiel Carrera with his 3rd hit. Boy, he is doing exactly what you want from your 4th outfielder, stepping up and filling in for Michael Saunders. He's got 3 hits today, including a double, and he scored 2.
Isn't it amazing when you play a couple of days in a row how that timing comes back?
Josh Donaldson's had a perfect afternoon so far, 2 for 2 with a 3-run homer. Donaldson's home run in the second was his 7th of the season. Last year in his MVP season, he didn't hit his 7th home run until the 30th game of the season. That was on May 8th. Well, this is the 2nd year Donaldson has been with the Blue Jays, and Oakland has been hard pressed to fill the void.
Well, any way you slice it, Blue Jays got the better of that deal. This is, looking back since the trade, the average what Donaldson has done compared to all the Oakland third basemen since then. How about the home runs and the production? The RBI is 141. They got some other young players in that deal that, you know, maybe over time might help even it out, but right now Josh Donaldson has turned into an MVP.
Well on his way to making it 2 in a row. 1-2. Cabrera has a stolen base. I don't think he's going to be running here. Donaldson is off to a great start with the bat. Don't want to run into an out. There he goes. Begley drops the ball. Donaldson got stepped on by the catcher. And Begley dropped the ball. But when he tried to get into a throwing position, he stepped on Josh Donaldson. Cabrera with his 2nd stolen base of the season.
I'm surprised, like you are, that he was going to take off. Watch Begley as he comes out of the crouch and he goes to throw, steps right on that back foot of Josh Donaldson. Cabrera is now in scoring position. Make sure Josh is okay.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Slow breaking ball, line to third. Donaldson was all over that slow hook. Lined it right to Chris Coghlan at third.
Well, that ball was hooking. Watch this thing. Donaldson recognizes it, gets the timing that he wants on that slow curveball. Looks like extra bases and another run for the Blue Jays, and almost tears the glove off of his hand.
That's a terrific illustration of why they call it the hot corner. Donaldson is on everything. (5-2) Blue Jays. Bautista's 0 for 2, but he's got an RBI. Good count for Bautista to sit on that fastball.
Sell out. Probably won't get the 4-seamer. Probably get that 2-seamer. So look for something out over the plate.
Got the cutter. 3-0. Encarnacion is 0 for 2 as well. Fourth, Bautista with another walk. 2nd walk issued by Bassett. Blue Jays with 5 runs on 8 hits so far. Encarnacion flied out up against the wall in right his last time up.
He doesn't hit too many balls to right field for home runs like we did, so that was another good approach by the Blue Jays. He usually pulls the ball for a home run. 22 home runs last year when he pulled it to left field. Blue Jays as a team last year hit 99 home runs to left field from the pull side, from the right-handed batters, the most in baseball. But when you see Encarnacion start to drive the ball to right field, you know he's starting to get close.
39 home runs a year ago. 2 so far. They came in the same game. Friday night in Boston. Blue Jays with 8 hits so far this afternoon, and the bats just really haven't clicked in yet. You look at the 10-hit games this season in the American League. Boston leads the way. The Athletics had a 10-hit game last night. Rangers right there. League average is 5, and the Blue Jays, they're off the mark a bit. They've had just 2 such games.
67 of them last year. 10+ hits in a ball game.
Every season is different. You all have to get into the flow of games, and we always talk about the 60-game mark is when you can really get a good feel for what your ball club is like in a given season.
That was last year. This is this year. It's a different team.
Slow breaking ball. Garnacion strikes out. Blue Jays leave a pair. We'll go to the fifth. 5-2 Blue Jays. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
On your phone and tablet with the MLB.com At-Bat app. Customize At-Bat to feature the Blue Jays and stay up to the moment at any moment with scores, news, live game video highlights, and much more. Download MLB.com At-Bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Thank you very much, Hazel May, and you can check out all the games all the time on MLB At-Bat. Jay Happ starting the fifth. Goes one in there for a strike to the catcher, Josh Phegley. 8-9-1 for the A's here in the fifth. He's got a good cutter today. He handcuffed Billy Butler with it early in that at bat and then gave in to him and threw one away. Butler slapped it into right.
He calls that a hybrid slider. It's not really a slider where you twist it and spin it. It's got a lot of cutting action on it. There's another one on the inside part of the plate, and he's telling me how confident he is with that, especially the right-handers. He can get in there, and then when he feels like they might be looking for it, he can backdoor it on them also. Throw it on the outside part of the plate.
0-2. Bounced in the dirt. Well, he calls it a hybrid slider because he went to Northwestern. I call it a cutter because I went to Sacramento City College.
So what are you saying there?
Yeah, he has had a few more physics classes than I have. 1-2 to Phegley. Hit off the end of the bat. That's a fair ball. Nice play by Smoke. Happ is there. Not in time. Gabe Morales, the first base umpire, waves Phegley safe. Tough play by Smoke. That ball carried him well into foul territory, and to throw it back to the bag, and I'm sure the Blue Jays are going to have a look at this one.
Yeah, I was talking to Justin today about the dirt here around first base, and it looked like he was having some problems with some balls yesterday, and he was telling me that so far this year the ball off of the dirt has stayed down on him. One more time, this ball off the end of the bat by Phegley, and watch how Smokey has to stay down on the ball. It stays down, and that makes him have to have a couple more steps, but a heck of a play nonetheless. The throw and then the runner sliding, staying underneath that play.
First of all, it was a tough grab, and then he had to reach back over his shoulder to make the throw, and the crowd reacting to the replay on the scoreboard. This replay review is powered by Samsung, and here's another look at it, and this should give you a pretty good idea. Happ gets to the bag, steps on it with his right foot, and then looks like he beats Fegley to the base.
And you're glad that Fegley went down and he slid. That could have been a collision at first base, but look how the ball stays down, and that throws Smoke off balance just a little bit. He regains himself and flips it over to Happ, and Jay got the foot tangled. Watch it on the bag, and then the leg on the slide twists it just a little bit, but it looks like he's out.
The review overturns the call on the field, and Fegley is out. 3-1 on the play. Good play by Smoke and a good cover by Happ. So a base hit is taken off the board.
Players know the field better than anybody, don't they? And if you go around and you ask them and say, hey, how's the new field playing, they'll tell you.
Line drive to left. Carrera makes a good play. How a day, Carrera. Ezequiel Carrera makes a nice sliding catch. He's had 3 hits and a good defensive play.
He's had 2 singles, a double, a stolen base. He scored 2 runs and now makes a great play in the outfield with a dive.
That's the 3rd red star in my scorebook today. Donaldson had one earlier. Smoke gets one this inning, and now Carrera gets a red star for this play.
And probably fighting the lights also. Those low liners like that on the corners here at Rogers Center, that gets right into those lights, stayed right with it.
Top of the order, leadoff man Billy Burns singled in the 3rd. Blue Jays had a little meeting, talk about a few things. Tighten up the defense, run the bases better, have better at bats. So far, so good. Burns bunts it over the screen, out of play. Justin Smoke with a terrific defensive play. Going into foul territory, throwing it back over his shoulder to the bag. Jay Happ was there to receive it, and Happ's been involved in a couple of those plays today.
Josh Donaldson's made a great play. Took away extra bases in the 1st inning from Chris Davis. JD's had a heck of a game today also.
Carrera with 3 hits. He scored 2 runs. Breaking ball, line to the second baseman. Defense responsible for all 3 of the outs here in the inning. What a day for Ezequiel Carrera, the left fielder. He's had 3 hits in the game, including a double. He's scored 2, and he's made a great defensive play in left. down to AAA and call up Drew Hutchison to make his season debut tomorrow. You see his record from a year ago, 13-5. He'll go up against Eric Surkamp, the left-hander. Hutchison has made 3 starts in AAA Buffalo. His last start on the 18th of April, he went 6 innings, charged with 5 earned runs on 10 hits. But overall, Patty's thrown the ball very well in AAA. 6 walks and 20 strikeouts so far.
Yeah, the Blue Jays have been kicking that idea around for a little bit.
Troy Tulowitzki puts in charge in this one, way back and gone.
Just a matter of time before the Blue Jays bats come alive. Troy Tulowitzki had an infield hit his first time up, drove a ball to center field his next time up and just missed it. This time he gets a curveball and goes down and gets it.
Tulowitzki had 3 home runs and 10 RBIs last April with the Rockies. That home run, his 3rd. Now he has 9 ribbies and quite a few games left in the month of April.
Breaking ball. Spinner, go down and get it. Golfs it out of here. The approach by the Blue Jays all afternoon long has been great. Right back through the middle.
It started with Carrera single up the middle, then Donaldson singled right back up the middle the same way. They've been staying in the big part of the diamond, and it has led to 6 runs on 9 hits. Smoke gets under this one. High fly ball to left. Long run for Coco Crisp. He gets there, makes the catch. Second home run of the afternoon. This one off the bat of Troy Tulowitzki.
The first one was to center field by Donaldson. And now this one. Basically the center field lands into the stands. The fans get a souvenir. Yes, sir. Came to the ballpark to get a Tulowitzki homer.
Troy hit .308 with the Rockies in the month of April last year. As we mentioned, he had 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Now he has 3 home runs and 9 RBIs for the Jays. Russell Martin, 1 for 2 so far. Called out on a very borderline pitch in the 3rd. A cutter on the outside corner. 1-1. That low strike has been a point of contention between Chris Conroy, the home plate umpire, and Russell Martin. They haven't seen eye to eye.
No. Last time it was a curveball. That time it was a fastball.
Chris Bassett gave up 5 home runs last season in 13 starts. He's given up 2 to the Blue Jays here this afternoon. Three balls and 2 strikes to the Blue Jays catcher.
It's almost like he's working out of the stretch position now. We talked about it at the beginning of the game, but when there was no base runners on base, he would step over to first base. Step like that.
Martin called out on strikes for a 2nd time. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Rookie making his major league debut today. Kiermaier's 2nd home run of the season.
Glad to see him back in the lineup. That was a nasty collision he had with Logan Forsythe.
They ran together on a shallow pop-up in center field. And both of them came out in pretty good shape. It looked a lot worse than it eventually would turn out to be. Way inside to Goins. Brian has grounded out and flied out. Here's the 3-1. Cut on and missed. It's a full count. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bassett, but the leadoff man here in the fifth, Troy Tulowitzki, picks up his second hit. This one leaves the yard. Tulowitzki goes down and smokes it to center. Home run number 3 for the Blue Jays shortstop.
Contest is now on. Enter for your chance to cheer on the Blue Jays in Boston with WestJet. Go to bluejays.com/WestJet. Fly away to enter. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. And the WestJet flight deck is packed to the gills this afternoon. A lot of Blue Jay fans out there having a great afternoon. And inside, this is a sold-out crowd. Last night, 34,251 here at Rogers Center. Mark Canha started the scoring with an opposite field home run in the first. Blue Jays came right back with 2 of their own in the bottom half of the inning.
I think this is a big inning for Jay Happ. You mentioned the home run he's given up to Canha, a couple of hits to Lowry, and Billy Butler's got a hit, so he needs a quick one here. Get through this one, and maybe a 7th inning. His pitch count's in great shape, but he's facing their best hitters this inning.
Well, that low strike has been consistent for both pitchers. Jay Happ gets the call. He's ahead 1-2. Canha, Lowry, and Butler, as Pat mentioned. 2, 3, and 4 in the A's lineup. The Blue Jays used 4 2/3 innings of relief yesterday, so it's Good of Happ to pitch deep into this game. See if he can't take the load off that bullpen.
I think this inning will tell a lot. He is starting his 3rd time through the lineup for the Oakland A's. 6th inning.
Goins from the edge of the grass.
The all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Liam Hendriks, a former Blue Jay, loosening up for Oakland. Hendriks acquired by the A's in a trade for Jesse Chavez. Line to right. Jed Lowry has had a good afternoon. He's got 2 hits, and now he lines out to the right fielder.
You know, if you can get through this inning, their best hitters in relative good pitch count. Now you're starting to think 8 innings, maybe 9 innings, and you can give that bullpen a rest. They have been used a lot. You mentioned the 4 2/3 innings yesterday.
Billy Butler has to jump back from that inside pitch, and you can bet they're going to pound him inside in this at bat. He singled on a pitch out over the plate with 2 strikes back in the 4th. Coming in there. Jay wants a new ball. Jay has thrown 76 pitches. He's been very economical and certainly has plenty left in the tank. Three and 1. Blue Jays lost to Oakland last night 8-5. He made it a 6-5 ball game with 2 in the bottom of the 8th. There's a deep drive to center. Pilar is back. He's got room. Billy Butler hit it to the deepest part of this ballpark, but Jay Happ retires the side in order in the 6th. The starter was staked to a 1-0 lead, but he saw that evaporate in the bottom of the 1st inning. He goes 5 innings, charged with 6 earned runs on 9 hits. He gave up 2 home runs to the Blue Jays this afternoon, and his day has come to an end, and he'll turn things over to the former Blue Jay, Liam Hendriks.
What a year Liam had last year for the Blue Jays, pitching in relief for the first time in his career. He's 5-0 with a 292 earned run average in 58 games. Set career highs in strikeouts and ERA and a low batting average, but it hasn't transformed into this year. 5 games, no record with an ERA approaching 10. Still striking out batters. Averaging 7 per 9 innings. He's got 5 at his 6 games. Hasn't walked anybody, but been knocked around a little bit this year.
Kevin Pillar, the first to face Hendricks, takes the first pitch strike. Pillar singled and scored a run in the second. It's a fly ball down the right side. This is going to be trouble. This is a fair ball, and it bounces over the wall for a ground rule double. Tanner was shading over in the alley in right center, and that ball was hit perfectly down the right side. So the leadoff man is Ezequiel Carrera. What a day he's had. 3 for 3 against the starter, Chris Bassett.
Singled his first time up, right back through the middle. He came around to score. Then he doubled in the second inning, and the second at bat came around to score again. Then singled one more time, leading off the 4th inning. He had a stolen base and this great catch in left field. Filling in for Michael Saunders has done a little bit of everything today.
Last night it was Darwin Barney coming off the bench to have a big game. Today it's Carrera doing the same. He tries to bunt that ball and bunts it foul. Ezequiel Carrera has 7 3-hit games. He's never had 4 hits in a big league game.
Perfect time for it right here. If he could fake that bunt, the shortstop Simeon is trying to get him behind Pillar. The whole left side of the infield is going to be open.
Nasty pitch inside, and all he can do was foul it off.
You know who was great at that? Faking that bunt and then slapping the ball through the hole?
Tony Fernandez.
Yes, sir. You read my mind, sir.
He could do that. He could get the infield moving and then hit it to the vacated spot on the infield.
To find a hole, pick up an RBI and a hit.
Hendricks was with the Blue Jays on 2 different occasions. He was with the Blue Jays after he was picked up off of waivers from the Orioles, and then Blue Jays traded him July 28th of 2014 to Kansas City. They reacquired Hendricks from Kansas City October 30th for Santiago Nessie, and then they traded him in November last year to Oakland for Jesse Chavez.
He had a career high in strikeouts last year with 71 pitching out of that bullpen. His fastball gained some miles per hour last year. He talked about that when he was with the Blue Jays. He was a starter, and he'd have to navigate through that lineup a couple of different times, but as a 1-inning reliever, you can let it go.
Oh, what an at-bat by Carrera. He pulls the 2-strike pitch and advances Pillar over to third. The Blue Jays are hitting on all cylinders today.
Gives himself up right there to get that teammate over to third base with less than 2 outs. Even with 2 strikes, cuts down that swing, gets on top of it, pulls it to the right side, and look at everybody up to give him a high five after that good at bat.
He's had quite an afternoon. So is this man, Josh Donaldson, 2 for 3. He scored 2 and driven in 3. And look out. That had a curious look about it. We mentioned the pitchers are pounding the Blue Jays inside, but that's the 11th batter that's been hit.
Curious because it was down low. And I've noticed it. You've noticed it, how pitchers have to pound them inside, but this time right on the back leg of Josh Donaldson, first pitch. One more time, fastball in. Fegley moves over. Let's go, and drills him right in his thigh.
So runners at the corners, one out for Jose Bautista. He walked his last time up against Chris Bassett. 0 for 2. Donaldson takes off, and Bautista got a terrific pitch to hit. Donaldson had a running start at first, but he'll have to return.
That's one way to get back at the pitcher, right, who just hit you.
Nobody knows the intent of Liam Hendricks, but if you want to hit somebody, that's how you do it. You throw it behind him, because a batter's reaction is to move back off the plate, and he moved right into it. Oh, and 1.
Donaldson cranked up looking for that RBI, and you're right, there's nowhere to go. You start to back up, you get right into the path of that baseball.
Second time Donaldson's been hit. The 11th time a Blue Jay batter has been hit this season. That's the most in the American League.
Got to pitch him in. Sometimes you're going to hit them. I think that's out of respect also. These guys can hit. They have shown that they can hit, so you got to pitch them in and knock them off the plate just a little bit.
But it hurts.
Yeah.
Drive deep to right field. Canna is back. He's going to make a catch. Pilar's tagging at third. Bautista has driven home his second run of the afternoon. 7-2 Blue Jays.
That one manufactured. The bloop down the line by Pilar, set up by Carrera, pulling the ball to the right side, advancing the runner to third base, and taking advantage of by Jose Bautista as a second sacrifice fly in as many games.
Bautista now with 14 RBIs. One and 1-2 Encarnacion. Edwin has struck out twice so far this afternoon. The Blue Jays now 10 hits for just the third time this season. Oakland goes to second, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays add a run here in the 6th. Jose Bautista with a sacrifice fly to right.
Jays on Sports Day. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
We move to the 7th. Chris Davis will lead off against Jay Happ. Another good outing for Jay Happ. No walks and a strikeout. And he hit him. And that's a warning. They've warned both sides, but you know what? Jay Happ just sent the message. You can't be target practicing on our hitters.
Exactly. And you're going to gain the respect of that third baseman right there. No argument from the ace.
Don't waste any time. First batter, and Josh Donaldson's been hit twice. The Blue Jays have been hit 11 times this season, and Jay Happ trying to even the score. Down around the legs, no problem. Jay Happ had retired 7 straight. Coco Crisp goes after the first pitch.
You know, just like the Donaldson at bat, this looked like a cutter. Really nowhere to go for Davis. Right in the ribs.
Oh, and one out. Nobody out. Runner at first base, Chris Davis. Outside. Now it's 2 balls and a strike to Coco Crisp. Crisp had an RBI single with 2 outs in the 4th.
Tell you how effective Jay Happ has been. He struck out the first batter he faced this afternoon. Billy Burns hasn't had one since. His cutter's been good. His changeup's been good. His two-seamer's been good. Exactly what he was saying. I'm going to use my two-seamer so they stop fouling the ball off and put it in play. Strikeouts can be overrated.
84 pitches now for Happ. Ball gets away from Martin. It's ball 4. Davis goes to second. Crisp is at first base. Russell Martin having a conversation with Chris Conrad, the home plate umpire.
And so was Jay Happ, asking him, hey, where was that pitch? That'll bring Pete Walker out.
So Happ hits the first batter, Chris Davis, and then loses Coco Crisp with the base on ball. Brett Cecil starting to loosen up. Entire infield go to the mound to listen in with Pete Walker, the pitching coach, out to visit with Jay Happ. 7-2 Blue Jays. Blue Jays have turned 2 double plays so far. Got Canna to end the 3rd, and Chris Davis grounded out in the 4th double play. Marcus Semien 0 for 2 so far against Jay Happ. Semien came into this ball game 7 for 10 against the Blue Jays lefty. Ground ball. Tulowitzki at short. Goins at second. Back to first. Double play. 3rd double play turn by the Blue Jays today.
Just take a little bit off that fastball. That one just registering 91 miles an hour, and you get that timing of the hitter off just a little bit and get the big ground ball that you need. His off-speed stuff's been better. Get it on the ground and let the infield do the rest.
Josh Phegley grounded out to first base, and he was initially called safe at first base. A little tapper behind first went into foul ground. Smoke made a good play. Happ covered the bag, and they had to review it, and the safe call on the field was overturned.
Seemed to get the infield into it. It's a great play by Smoke and Happ, and then right after that was the wonderful play by Carrera in left field.
Happ trying to close out the seventh. He went 7 innings last time out against Boston. Base hit, a 2-out base hit. Chris Davis comes in to score. The second 2-out RBI single for Oakland this afternoon. That's the first RBI for Josh Phegley this season.
It's got to drive a pitcher crazy. You get 2 outs and you've got a runner on third base. It hasn't happened just once. It's twice this afternoon that the A's have come up with clutch 2-out hits to score a run.
Chris Coghlan, a number 9 hitter this afternoon. He bunts it, and Donaldson's going to get that'll end the inning. So Jay Happ completes 7 innings for his second straight start. He leaves with a 7-3 Blue Jays lead. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Quite a day for the Blue Jays hitters. 7 runs on 10 hits. They pounded out a pair of home runs, and they have a 7-3 lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Oakland has scored single runs in the 1st, 4th, and 7th. Troy Tulowitzki's had a good day at the plate. Tulowitzki had an infield single in the 1st and a long home run in the 5th. His 3rd homer of the season. This has been a good day, Pat, overall. Just the way the Blue Jays have played. They have had good at-bats, they've had productive outs, and they played well on the field.
If you didn't see the scoreboard, and forget about 7 runs on 10 hits, and you just watched the game down on the field, you saw a lot of good things. Sharp defense, Jay Happ pitching 7 innings, very sharp. I think the approaches at the plate have been tremendous this afternoon. And it started in that first inning, everybody going back through the middle, picking up their hits, and the home runs both coming to center field. You haven't seen anybody trying to instead of making things happen, they've let the game come to them and make it happen.
Tulowitzki, another drive deep to center. Burns on the run, looking up. Goodbye, home run. A 2-homer day for Tulo.
That's the guy we've been waiting for right there. Center field one more time for Tulo. His last home run before this afternoon was 9 days ago against Nathan Eovaldi. Hits a pitch out up over the plate, doesn't try and pull it. We've been talking about missing your pitch. Blue Jays have been hitting their pitch this afternoon.
12th time Troy Tulowitzki has had a multi-home run game. Eight 3 Blue Jays. Justin Smoke caught looking at strike 3. 1 away here in the 7th. Well, this is one of the most powerful teams in baseball, and they have kind of been missing. Now they're hitting on all cylinders.
Starts with a good approach at the plate. You could tell from that first inning, it seemed like the Blue Jays were making a conscious effort to stay in the middle of the field. Check out where all their hits have come from. Right in the middle.
Big part of the diamond. Kevin Pillar had a bloop double down the right field line. A single to short. Everybody's using the whole field this afternoon. Russell Martin had an infield hit. Ezequiel Carrera, filling in for Michael Saunders, has had a 3-hit game. The 7th 3-hit game of his career. Jay Happ has been given the handshake here on the bench. Jay out of the ball game, 7 innings. Gavin Floyd appears to be ready to come in. Another good start for Jay Happ. Martin strikes out. Fegley tags him out. 2 down. Jay goes 7 innings for the 2nd consecutive start. He's gone 6, 6, 7, and 7. Boy, that's what you want from your starting staff.
Dip me deep. Then you only have to cover a couple of innings.
Happ looking to go 3-0 on the season.
Shut down the Yankees and then shut down the Red Sox. And he shut down the Oakland A's this afternoon for the most part. The A's scored 8 runs last night, hitting everything.
The A's have a 6-game winning streak at stake. 7 straight on the road they've won. Ryan Goins looking at a righty again. He has hit the ball hard a couple of times today. Struck out his last time up. 0 for 3. Liam Hendriks in relief of Chris Bassett. Bassett went 5 innings, charged with 6 earned runs on 9 hits, gave up a pair of home runs. Tulowitzki and Donaldson took Bassett deep. There's a buzz at Rogers Center once again.
Thanks to those two right there. Donaldson with a home run this afternoon. Tulo with a couple.
Tulowitzki and Donaldson are 5 for 7 this afternoon. Donaldson was hit by a pitch from Hendriks in the 6th. And then Jay Happ responded by hitting Chris Davis in the top of the 7th with the first pitch. Davis the first batter. And you can bet the hitters took note of that. Goins strikes out. Hendriks strikes out the side. But the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 7th, Troy Tulowitzki, he's had a big day. This is his 2nd home run of the ball game. His 4th so far this season. 8-3 Blue Jays. The game is brought to you by the all-new Honda Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Have you heard that old saying in baseball, keep the hitter in the middle of the diamond, in the middle of the ballpark, and you won't get hurt? Well, this afternoon he's been hurt because Troy Tulowitzki has hit a couple of home runs. One to center field and one to right center field. Tulowitzki did it in the 5th inning. This one was in the 7th inning. This afternoon's drives of the game. I love that. Keep him in the big part of the ballpark. Well, the ballpark today can't hold Tulowitzki.
Now Donaldson went straight away center, and Tulowitzki has used a big part of the diamond twice. Gavin Floyd will take over for Jay Happ, top of the order for Floyd as he makes his 6th appearance for the Blue Jays.
Gavin worked a couple of days ago in Baltimore. 2 very good innings against that hard-hitting Baltimore Orioles team. Just gave up a scratch hit.
Billy Burns, the leadoff man, a switch hitter, turns around and bats from the left side for the first time this afternoon.
That was a full swing.
Yes, it was.
And they're asking.
He asked the umpire, man, Martin's going, what are you looking at back there? If he hits that, it's a double. That curveball, he started his swing, but it was a very funky swing. Curveball again.
That curveball do it to you.
Gavin Floyd's been a nice addition to this bullpen. He and Jesse Chavez have a chance to be very big parts of this bullpen.
Well, he can give you multiple innings like he did his last time out. Starter's mentality. Starter's mentality, and he's got a breaking ball that's really good. It's sharp. Billy Burns can attest to that.
Oh, that one fouled right off the left shoulder of Russell Martin. Umpire checking with Russ. He says he's okay. You get that breaking ball away and you reach out to catch it, and then the batter fouls it off. He went around. Billy Burns strikes out on that curveball from Gavin Floyd. Well, Jay Happ looking to improve to 3-0 for the season. He threw 92 pitches in 7 innings, had just 1 strikeout. That was the first batter he faced this afternoon.
And just 1 walk, and worked very quickly. Used his cutter, used that changeup. They didn't foul as many balls off as we have seen in the past, and that's what kept the pitch count down. And 7 solid innings this afternoon for Jay.
Marcana goes after the first pitch. Marcana homered in his first at bat, an opposite field home run, his 3rd of the season. He has since grounded into a double play and grounded out to second. Oh, and 2. And breaking ball buried in the dirt.
Didn't we see that a lot last year in the month of April, Buck? And we were commenting how Russell Martin was blocking a lot of balls in the month of April last year. And we're seeing it again this year. I think some of it had to do last year. There were so many young kids down in that bullpen.
They had some rookies down there. Miguel Castro was in the bullpen. Colt Hines down in the bullpen. Osuna was a rookie. There's a good curveball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Floyd.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Jed Lowry 2 for 3 against Jay Happ. Ground ball to Tulowitzki to his right. On the money. 3 up, 3 down for Gavin Floyd, top of the 8th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. former Blue Jay comes into the ball game. Mark Zepchinski was originally drafted by the Blue Jays in 2007. And he has bounced around a bit. He was picked up by Oakland in a trade with the San Diego Padres in December. He and Yonder Alonso came to Oakland in that trade with San Diego.
In his Oakland A's career has gotten off to a nice start. 7 games. He hasn't given up an earned run yet. Righties hitting just 125. Lefties, and that'll go down. Hitting 273. He is tough on lefties. He's got a great breaking ball and a good sinker. Doesn't give up too many home runs. Lots of ground balls. It's a hard slider and a power curveball that he'll use against those lefties.
Zepchinski will face Kevin Pillar. Mark came to the Blue Jays in 2009 and pitched until the trade July 27th of 2011. He was traded to the Cardinals with Octavio Dotel, Edwin Jackson, and Corey Patterson for Trevor Miller, Colby Erasmus, Brian Talent, and B.J. Walters.
He's been around. Been with the Indians, Cardinals, Padres, Oakland. He's the kind of guy, Mark Zepchinski, can pitch as long as he wants. I don't want to call him a lefty specialist, but he can be a lefty specialist because his breaking ball is so good. Can't throw anything straight.
Zepchinski is now 30 years old. He's been traded in July 3 times in his career because of that aspect you're talking about. Teams need a lefty mid-season thinking about a pennant run, and they'll go out and acquire Mark Zepchinski.
And he's good. I mean, his stuff is pretty nasty from the left side. And again, if you're healthy and you have that desire, he can pitch as long as he wants in the big leagues.
Pillar strikes out. That's the first out in the 8th.
That is 4 straight strikeouts recorded by the Oakland bullpen. Told you he's got a great sinker. Here it is on display. Tough to get this ball in the air. And Pillar right over the top of it.
Liam Hendricks struck out the side in the 7th after Troy Tulowitzki led off with a home run. And now Pillar strikes out to start the 8th. Ezequiel Carrera has had a big day. His 7th career 3-hit game. 2 singles and a double. He scored a pair of runs, picked up a stolen base, and he also made a terrific diving catch in left field. Take a hit away.
You see your name in the lineup. You come to the ballpark this morning, see your name in the lineup, and you say, just want to do something to help my team win a ball game. Well, he's done more than that. He has scored a couple of runs. He had a great at bat his last at bat, and he made an out.
Grounded out to second base to move Kevin Pillar from 2nd to 3rd, and Pillar would score on the sacrifice fly. That big breaking ball, tough on lefties. Full count now to Carrera. If he reaches, Josh Donaldson will come to the plate, and he has had quite an eventful day. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. He's 2 for 3 and was hit by a pitch. Breaking ball off the glove. Zepchinski gets to it quickly, throws it away. Carrera's headed for 2nd. He's going to make the turn. Here it goes to 3rd. That could be scored a hit. If it is, that'll be his first 4-hit game of his career. It went off the glove of Zepchinski. Indeed, it is his first 4-hit game of his career.
It would have been close at first base, right back through the middle. He knocks it down and then picks it up. and throws it away. That's the 3rd error charged to a Oakland pitcher this year, the 16th error charged to the Oakland team. And Carrera can circle the bases to 3rd base with an infield hit and a 2-base error.
Josh Donaldson. Josh has singled, homered, lined out, and was hit by a pitch. 7 home runs now. He leads the American League. Infield is drawn in. Donaldson was in a similar situation in the 2nd. There were runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out when he went deep to center field.
And it was a beautiful approach at the plate. Stayed inside that ball and looked like he really just closed off left field and said, I'm going to try and stay in the middle of the diamond and pick up one of these runs. Well, he happened to pick up 3 RBIs with that home run. It's a great at bat.
Fights off that inside pitch. Donaldson now with 18 RBIs is 2nd in the majors to Bryce Harper of the Nationals. Harper has 22. Base hit. Donaldson's had a 3-hit day. Another RBI, make it 19.
And another really good at bat by covering the plate, the inside part of the plate, the outside part of the plate. It makes it a lot easier when the infield is in. Just get that ball on the ground. They just don't have enough time to react to get to the baseball. Josh has been on base 4 times this afternoon.
9-3 Blue Jays. 9 runs on 13 hits in the first 4-hit day for that man, Ezequiel Carrera. He is 4 for 5. Scored 3 runs, stole a base, made a great catch in the field. And you can see everybody congratulating him for a terrific day.
Go sit next to him. Get some of those hits. Stay hot.
Jose Bautista with a couple of productive at bats. He had a ground ball RBI in the 1st and a sac fly in the 6th. Josh Donaldson, 3 hits, 4 RBIs, his 7th home run of the season.
You know, even the out that Donaldson made was hit hard.
Lined out to the 3rd baseman. Chris Coggin had to spear the line drive. It was headed to be a double down the left field line. But you know that base hit in this inning, extra gratifying after he was hit by a pitch in the 6th.
Yeah, I watched him go up the first base line and he was feeling pretty good.
Hot shot. Coughlin goes to 2nd. Nice turn at 2nd by Lowry, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays add another run. Josh Donaldson's had a big day, a 4 RBI game, and the Blue Jays will go to the 9th leading 9-3. Campbell, Josh Donaldson, and Ezequiel Carrera have had big days. Donaldson 3 hits and 4 RBIs. Carrera, his first 4-hit game of his career. He's also scored 3 runs, stolen a base, and made a fine sliding catch in left. Oakland will send Billy Butler, Chris Davis, and Coco Crisp to the plate against Gavin Floyd in the 9th. Floyd retired, decided the order in the 8th inning. He struck out Burns and Kenham, and then got Lauer to ground out. This was a welcome bit of relief for the bullpen. 7 innings from Jay Happ after the bullpen pitched 4 2/3 in last night's game.
And with a inflated lead of 6 runs, you don't have to do matchup or go to your closer or try to bring in a lefty. You let Gavin Floyd go out there for a 2nd inning and hopefully has an easy inning, and John Gibbons can rest the rest of the guys in that bullpen for tomorrow afternoon's game.
Drew Hutchison will make his season debut tomorrow afternoon. He'll be matched up against the left-hander Eric Sirkin. Off the end of the bat, may have broken his bat. Goins from the outfield. What a play. He does a 360 and throws a strike to first base to retire Billy Butler here in the 9th.
Well, as an infielder, you have to know who the runner is, first of all. And he knows that he has some time with Billy Butler running. It's not hit that hard. He gets to it, and watch how he just takes his time. Does the 360, picks up Justin Smoke, and throws a strike to finish him off over there at first base. He knew he had some time with Butler running, and that's another nice play by the Blue Jays infield.
Chris Davis, he was robbed of an extra base hit back in the 1st inning by Josh Donaldson. They got 4 red stars in the book for defensive plays today. Donaldson, Smoke, Carrera, and now Goins. Washing the leather this afternoon.
I got them also, but they're not in red. I have them in black today. It's been a complete game by the Blue Jays. Complete game, and they got great starting pitching. They've had great defense. They've hit, and they've hit some home runs.
You know what? And the first 2 hits of the ball game were identical, sharp ground balls up the middle into center. And it looked like the Blue Jays had their mind set up just to have good at bats. There's a drive to the alley in left center. Carrera coming on. Another play. Have a day, Ezequiel.
Some days it's just your day. And this Saturday is Ezequiel Carrera's day. A little bit of everything. Ball's hit off the end of the bat, so it stayed up there for Carrera, and he lays out. He does it again.
A sellout crowd on their feet acknowledging the great afternoon for Ezequiel Carrera. If you're going to have a championship ball club, your extra guys have to have big days, and it's been Carrera's day today.
Yes, it has. He can do no wrong on the baseball field this afternoon.
Two and one to Coco Crisp. 2 outs in the 9th. Floyd's had a good curveball. He struck out the first 2 batters when he came into the game in the 8th. He's retired 5 straight. Topper toward third. Donaldson bags it home. What a way to finish a ball game.
Well, a complete game for the Blue Jays. They got a little bit of everything. We're impressed with the starting pitching. We're impressed with the bullpen and the hitting, but the defense was outstanding this afternoon as they even up this series.
The Blue Jays have a season-high 9 runs and a season-high 13 hits and 5 red stars in the book on defense. Jay Happ 3-0. Oakland loses for the first time. Here's Blue Jays Central. Jamie and Greg.